Today I'm going to give you the best Black Friday deals that I've scoured the internet and found for you to give you the most savings. If you don't know about me, a little bit background, I've been in the music industry for 25 plus years. I've been a touring DJ, music producer, mastering engineer, and more. I've got a lot of knowledge. I've been in the game for a long time. I've used a lot of products. I own a lot of products. And today we're going to get into the best deals for 2025. Let's get into it. I want to just quickly mention before we get into the video that my record label, No One's Safe, also known as NOS Recordings, is having a sample pack sale. Right now we have 2 sample packs. We have the Moog Tech House Basslines and the Serum Risers, and you can get 50% off all sample packs if you use code BF2025. Good until the end of Cyber Monday. Before we get into all the deals though, I want to just mention, be careful about buying too many plugins. If you overload yourself, it could really confuse you. If you want to know how to make better dance music and music in general, check out my video on everything you learned in music production is wrong. It's not about buying all the new shiny toys and the new plugins and a bunch of sample packs. It's really about knowing what you have. Now, before we get into the best deals for effects and instruments, I want to talk about some programs that I use day in and day out, week after week, for many years now. First on that list is SoundGym. Now, they don't look like they're doing a deal, but I use this all the time, and I really recommend that you spend time on educational resources Black Friday as well. SoundGym also makes ToneGym, which is ear training for musicians as far as music theory, and SoundGym is ear training for music producers as far as spectral balancing, EQ, reverb, everything that a mix engineer or a producer would want. And then ToneGym is going to be for the music producer that's creating music. They also have Guitar Gym. If you're interested, I know that one is on sale, so you might check that out. Another one here is Audible Genius. They have a 50% off Black Friday sale. They have Building Blocks and Centorial, which I've been using for many years. Building Blocks is kind of going to teach you how to produce music in a MIDI editor. So if you're not familiar with the MIDI piano roll style editing and you want to just learn some great ways to make music that way, Building Blocks is for you. Centorial is all about synthesis, and I can't stress at how good this thing is. So make sure you spend a little bit of your resources on educational products. It's going to take you a long way. All right, number 1 on my list is Universal Audio. They typically have their 12 days of UAD sale, save up to 85%. They have some good deals this year. Pick 3 plugins for $49, pick 10 plugins for $99. The way I like to use these is I like to use them in my console, especially for my hardware synths. It's fun to put delays, reverbs, and different effects units on things. Sometimes if I'm recording vocalists, it's nice to be able to put a little reverb on the vocalist if they want to hear themselves wet, but record themselves dry. Universal Audio just recently did their UADX stuff too, so you don't need the hardware if you want to purchase those versions. 12 days of UAD sale is always on my list. Okay, number 2 on the list is Arturia. If you want some great hardware recreations of synths, this is the place to go. Make some good ones. One unfortunate thing is I can't use symbolic links with their stuff. If you caught my symbolic links video on how to use one sound library between 2 locations like me, it's very handy, and when I tried to set that up with Arturia, it didn't seem to work. I didn't dig into it too much, but I've had their software for quite some time, and their V collection is a good deal. All right, if Arturia is a little too expensive for you, you might check out this company. It's called GeForce Software. They make a lot of hardware recreations at a bit cheaper of a price point. They do make some good stuff. I haven't used their stuff in a while. I own 2 of them, but it's an option out there for you. They have a pretty good Black Friday sale as well. You can get their ultimate bundle for $600. Next on the list for me is FabFilter. They never typically have a sale, and I check every year, so that's why I recommend this one. 25% discount on all plugins and bundles until December 2nd. So make sure you don't miss out on this one. This is a good set of tools for your toolkit. Next on the list is SoundToys, another set of plugins that I've owned and been using for many years. They always have a Black Friday sale. It's usually in my video. If you're not a SoundToys user, they have some really fun ones, including Echo Boy is one of my favorite. I like Crystallizer. Little Alter Boy is another one I use all the time. Capitator is very famous. The Devil Lock is fun. The Little Radiator and the Radiator are fun ones. And the PsyQ EQ, I have an old video on that. I'll leave you a link to that down below. Is a great little EQ and kind of a hidden gem. So don't forget to check out SoundToys. Next on the list is Waves. They always have a big sale, but I'm not the biggest Waves fan. As you know, I have some controversial videos on Waves and my experience, which I'll leave you links to that down below. Unfortunately, though, they do have some good plugins that I still use to this day and I have a hard time getting rid of, so I put them on my list. 2 plugins for $49.99, 5 plugins for $99.99. Next on the list is Cable Guys. I love Shaperbox. Kickstart's another one that I use. This company has some really unique plugins, unlike many others, and they just have some really creative effects type plugins that are really fun to use. So check them out. They have 76% off Shaperbox 3 and 78% off their whole Cable Guys bundle, which you can get for $149. Auto Auto-Tune made the list this year. They have 60% off site-wide. I'm not a big Antares user, but if you need a good tuning plugin, you might check this one out. This is the famous one. If you want that T-Pain voice, this is it. Another good one here is He. One of their famous synths is Diva, which I use quite often. They have 50% off selected plugins and sound sets. So don't sleep on He. Polyverse Music is another one that I've been looking at for years. Most notably, the Manipulator is one that I keep hearing about. I'm thinking of picking it up this year for $99, but you can get their whole bundle for $299. I always put this on my video list, and it always is on my want list, but I never end up picking it up. Maybe I need to check it out this year. Okay, Isotope made the list because they have up to 60% off. My favorite Isotope plugin is the RX series, but they update it every single year, and I used to update it, but now I'm going to skip a few years. Doesn't change that much each year. But they make some really good plugins. If you need help with mixing, they make their Insights plugin. They make all kinds of different things, so make sure to check out their website if you're curious. All right, Native Instruments is one that I've owned for quite some time. I believe I am a Complete 11 Ultimate owner, so I haven't updated in a few years, and I think it might be time. 50% off upgrades and upgrades to Complete 15. Now, this is a massive bundle, and it's not necessarily a need, but if you're looking for a toolkit that has a wide variety of sounds, this might be for you. Since I've been getting into sync licensing, I've been using a lot of these instruments, including the drum kits, some of the bass guitars, some of the guitars, and it's been handy to have some natural sounding instruments, but there's a massive amount of sounds and plugins and effects in this bundle. Next on the list, I don't own any of these, but Black Rooster Audio usually has a pretty good sale. They have up to 90% off, so I thought I'd include it for you. Might be something you want to check out. Lennar Digital made the list today because Silent is a famous synth for dance music, and they have a 40% off sale, and I don't typically see their stuff on sale, so I put this one on the Black Friday list for 2025. Next on the list is Output. They make some really cool plugins, which I've been using for my sync licensing projects. I've been an avid user of Exhale. I like Substance. I like the analog brass and strings, and there's some other ones that I don't own that I might check out this year, but they have 50% off, and they usually make my list as well. Next on the list is Sonics, and this is a company that's famous for their Oxford Inflator. Now, I have the UAD version, so I don't own any Sonics plugins personally, but they have 75% off all bundles. That's a really good deal, so you may want to check that out. Next on the list is the Korg 6 collection. Now, I own the Korg 3 collection, and there's a small upgrade price, which I'm considering getting just to get some of the new instruments that I don't own, but there's going to be some famous sounds in here, from the Triton to the Korg M1, and just many other famous hardware pieces that you can get all in one bundle, all in one shot. 50% off for Black Friday. Next on the list is XLN Audio, and this one is 50% off, and the reason I put this on is because they have a really cool plugin here called XO. RC20 is a great one that I use sometimes. I don't use XO that much anymore with the new Ableton Live 12 browser update. Curious to know what I mean? I have a video. I'll leave you a link to that down below. But XO is a really cool plugin to organize your samples and find things in your library. Next on the list is Waves Factory. 50% off until December 1st. I use this plugin right here, Track Spacer, almost every track, and I can't recommend it enough. They have some other plugins, you might check them out, but this is the reason why I put this on the list. Okay, this is another company that I don't own anything, but I saw it was a good deal. 50% off all plugins. You might want to check it out. They have a lot of different types of plugins, from instruments to hardware recreations, and they have this Punchbox synth. So I don't know much about them, but 50% off is a pretty good deal for Black Friday, so I put it on the list. Next on the list is SIR Tools. The reason I put this on the list is because I love their Spectrum Analyzer. They also have a standard clip plugin that's pretty popular. This might be something you want to check out. 50% off for Black Friday 2025. Okay, next on the list is SonarWorks, where you can get the Black Friday 50% off deal. If you want room calibration software, this is one that I used to use. I did recently just upgrade to the IK Multimedia version, Arc Studio and Arc X, which I have a video on those. I'll leave you links to that down below. But it's a great starting point at 50% off if you need some room correction. This one works with your CPU, whereas the Arc Studio is a standalone box, so it gets you a little bit more, but it's not, unfortunately, on sale for Black Friday. So if you're looking to save some money, Sound ID referenced by SonarWorks might be for you. Okay, this one, Synchro Arts, I've been looking at for quite some time because of their Vocal Align plugin. Obviously, I've been doing a ton more vocals lately with my sync licensing projects, and spending time aligning vocals can take some time. I'm very fortunate to work with a friend of mine, Rebecca Jade, who was just featured on my latest track, Lick and Dip, who has an amazing voice, and she's pretty spot on, but this might help me save some time and tighten up the vocals. She doesn't need a lot of correction, but some vocalists do, and this one I've heard about for many years, so it might be something to check out. 50% off with an eligible upgrade license, but it's also 40% off if you have no license for standard or pro. Next on the list is Air, which they have a big Black Friday sale. I don't own any of their plugins, but the reason I put this on the list, if you're a dance music producer, I've heard a lot about Vacuum. Now, Vacuum is right here, Vacuum Pro, normally $99, $29. I've heard this thing is great for bass line, so I think I'm going to pick this up. Next on the list is Reveal Sound. Which makes Spire 60% off until December. Spire's a popular synth for dance music. I don't personally own it. Might be a good time to pick it up. Black Friday is usually the best time to get all the deals. Next on the list is Baby Audio. Now, they make some great free plugins that I use sometimes. I like Pitch Drift. The Magic Dice is kind of fun. Baby Come Back is a cool little delay unit. They have a Black Friday sale. I think they are more known for their flavor plugins versus their other plugins. You know, if you look down here, these effects, they have a lot of like flavors like Super VHS or Spaced Out. I think these are what these guys are known for, although I don't own any of them. But they have a pretty big sale. You can pick up some of these. Look at this one for $9.99, a little saturator. $28, $38. Pretty cheap deals. So check out Baby Audio. Next on the list is Safari Pedals. Now, these guys have been sending me their plugins, and I did briefly check them out. It's a little bit of an overload, but I do have their complete bundle, and I've been thinking about doing a video. They send me all their new stuff, so thank you guys at Safari Pedals for sending me your stuff. If you guys are curious to see a video on them, drop me a comment down below. Now, they have up to 90% off, starting at $9.99. If you look at some of these deals, there's a lot of cool little flavor ones like cassette or rabbit tape. There's a zebra clipper. There's the Pixel Cat Bit Crusher. They have a lot. And if you want everything, you can get that for $159. So maybe you should check out Safari plugin. Next on the list is Minimal Audio. I don't own any of their plugins, but they have a 50% off deal, which is a slamming deal for Black Friday. You might want to check that out. You can get their whole bundle for $210. I don't know much about their plugins, though. I got to be honest with you. Their flagship synthesizer is Current. They have this vocal effect, this hybrid distortion, this modulator right here. There's a chorus effect. Yeah, so they have a lot of stuff here. You can pick up a nice little set for over $200. Not bad. Next on the list is Sound Theory. They have a 50% off sale. I don't own any of their stuff, but this Gullfoss plugin is supposed to be really famous. What it is it's an intelligent equalizer, and a lot of people have been talking about this. Right now, you can pick it up for $99.50. So you might want to check out Sound Theory. Okay, always on the list is Plugin Alliance because they have tons of deals. As you can see, I use this Metric AB. You can pick that up for $49.99. I don't use it too much these days because I found a great way to manage references with external outs in Ableton. But if you want an AB plugin, that's the best one to get. I also love the black box here. They have the mid-side version for $30. You cannot beat that. Make sure to check out the regular version as well. I have this Mag EQ4, $20. But they're going to have a lot of stuff on sale, so make sure you dig around. If you want to spend some time, you might find some oddball stuff. You can get this SSL one. So there's a lot here. And then you also have Plugin Boutique, which usually makes my list. They always have a ton of deals too. You can get Diva right here for $86, but we already went through Yuhi. So they offer a lot of different stuff that I just spoke about as well, but it's a great place to see overall what's on sale, and you might find some other stuff that you might not know about, like I always do. See, tons of plugins I don't know about. A little bit of an overload. Be careful. Okay, that's the video for Black Friday 2025. There was a lot to talk about, so I wanted to zip through it, make this video short and concise. If you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. Bell notification will keep you up to date on future videos. And if you want to support me, I have a small membership area you can check out. One small package. Thanks for all your support, and I'll catch you guys in the comments until the next video. Peace.